Tino Mambeu from Zimbabwe's Exile Forum, who's going to be with us till about 12 o'clock to bring us a greater insight. Sir, thank you very much indeed for your time. We've been touting the whole morning, or be reporting the whole morning, that I guess it's between the two frontrunners, Emmerson Mnangagwa as well as Nelson Chamisa, as well as the other parties. But is it too close to call at this stage?
Well, thank you for having me in studio. But I think the biggest thing that we take note of is the terrific speed in which Nelson Chamisa has managed to take over the reins after the demise of Comrade Morgan Tsvangirai. He has done pretty well, and you would have seen also the amount of support he has received across the country on his rallies. And I would also want to pay service or attention to the survey that was done by Afrobarometer, where they indicated that it was a close call, and that also supports the notion that Chamisa is increasing in terms of support. It is indeed a close call, and we expect probably to see a win by a very smaller margin.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you're looking at the participants in the poll, but on the other hand, you're looking at the activities of the ZEC and questions coming up about its independence, its latest activity, announcing that they've gone to the police station to make sure that the police service notes that Nelson Chamisa was out campaigning when it was outside of campaigning time. What are your thoughts on the independence of the ZEC?
You know, when the gods want to make somebody, want to destroy somebody, they first make him mad. And I think we have said it before, that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, in collusion with the ZANU-PF, have been meandering, trying to trump up the wishes of the people of Zimbabwe. You know, the voters' roll, for instance, has only been the final voters' roll. No political party has got a final voters roll, that's one thing for sure. And also the unscrupulous design of the ballot paper, where Emmerson Mnangagwa, by some miracle, finds himself on top of the second column of the ballot paper.
What is the rule? Is it supposed to be alphabetical?
It has to be alphabetical. There should be no number indexing it then, before the names of the participants. It should be probably one long list that goes down. But ZEC has mastered the art of, playing around with the law to make sure that it suits a certain agenda. That is not only the case. We have seen also the ZEC providing particular details, contact details of people per constituency. That information was given to ZANU-PF. But however, the people of Zimbabwe are still very confident that regardless of the tilted playing field in favor of ZANU-PF, their voices are going to matter today. They are going to go out in numbers to make sure that they reclaim their country and they reclaim their victory. I think you would know where we are coming from. We are coming from a period of the change in terms of within ZANU-PF, where we saw Robert Mugabe being taken out, and it was alleged that there have been criminals that were surrounding President Mugabe. But as you will know, there is no criminal that has been arrested or sentenced. In any case, there has been one minister, Undenge, who has been sentenced merely for defrauding the government of about $12,000. So we, as the people of Zimbabwe, tend to wonder, were there any criminals around the president, or it was just a disguise to take over power? And I think when people of Zimbabwe are going into the elections, they are looking at those matters seriously.
How has the dynamics in Zimbabwe changed, especially with opposition parties campaigning in for strongholds of ZANU-PF?
Well, the big thing that you should take note of here is that in the pursuit of legitimacy, Mnangagwa is loosened up in terms of allowing people to campaign freely, in terms of allowing participants to express themselves freely. So that at the end of the day, I think the price is going to pay is the people coming out and voting against him. There's not much difference between Emmerson Mnangagwa and Mugabe. They are almost the same. Mnangagwa served with Mugabe in politics for more than 56 years, and you saw also his performance over the past 9 months, which has also been very dull. Apart from the freedom that he has given the people of Zimbabwe, he has not been able to provide economic solutions to the suffering masses of the people. And for the people of Zimbabwe, at this current juncture, what matters is food on the table. They are willing to find food on the table. They want to find a solution that brings money into the banks, which Mnangagwa has dismally failed to do over the past 9 months.
Let's look at the electorate, the so-called rural vote. It's one of the biggest blocks, isn't it? In terms
of course.
Could that very well determine the outcome?
Yes, of course, it has always done that, but now there are so many matrices around this. In 2013, ZANU-PF went to those elections and other previous elections with Mugabe as the candidate, and there was quite some semblance of unity within ZANU-PF. But the biggest problem that they have had now, I think you would have not noticed what happened yesterday. Mugabe calls on the media and he addresses the media, and I think you would also want to look at the number of journalists and media personnel that attended that presser. It means that the men really command some kind of support, whether we like it or not. So at the end of the day, ZANU-PF is divided, it's in disunity, and that is the biggest factor that is going to work against them in their predominantly ZANU-PF strongholds, as the rural areas that you seem to point out to.
So you are saying that former President Robert Mugabe still matters in Zimbabwe?
Yes. If Mugabe was a non-entity, then Mnangagwa would not need to shoot himself in the foot by responding to the press conference. I think you would have heard that he responded and said that anybody that votes for Chamisa is indirectly voting for Mugabe. Yes, Mugabe is a powerful politician. There is Mugabe, the institution which remained in ZANU-PF, the system, and there is also Mugabe, the individual. And politics in Zimbabwe is always on an individual basis than on an institutional basis. The same applies to the late Morgan Tsvangira. He had a lot of supporters that even when he had parted ways with Welshman Ngube, taking away the name and taking away everything that the party had, Ngube could not master leadership of the party because the people were loyal to an individual. Yes, Mugabe has got loyalty of his supporters. The reason you see Mnangagwa having been trying over the past month to reach out to Mugabe and say, please endorse me. I wanted to tap into the residual support which belongs to Mugabe. Mugabe is loved by his own people in Mashonaland West, Central and East. He is a force to reckon with. Hence, Mnangagwa, as I've said, has been trying to reach out to him to say, please endorse me. But Mugabe, being the witty he is, he has denied that, and he knew the right time to pass on such kind of a message.
And he seemingly went the other way in terms of seemingly endorsing Nelson Chamisa, isn't it? Do you think by him saying that he will not vote for the people that tormented him, will that influence the electorate?
Yes, of course. If it did not influence anybody, then Mnangagwa would not need to respond to it. He has got supporters that listen to him, that wait for direction from him. And the passing of the message is very critical because he is the man who has mastered the element of surprise. He has surprised Emmerson Mnangagwa, and Emmerson Mnangagwa right now is scouring for cover. He does not know. We have received several messages, his video communication, his online supporters trying to try to dismiss Mugabe as a non-entity in all this.
Tino, just to avoid being reactive, has the Exiles Forum put in place any systems to ensure that they can follow the process as it unfolds to make sure that it is what is expected?
Well, the Zimbabwe Exiles Forum's ambit has been to look at people that ran away from Zimbabwe into South Africa to try and eke out a living. So in terms of what is within our ambit and what we can possibly do in terms of financial constraints and financial ability, we have been able to try and mobilize support to make sure that those people that have registered to vote are in a position to go back home to vote. We are not a registered organization to operate within the boundaries of Zimbabwe.
You're an interest group, though.
Of course,
Are you backing any horse?
Oh, yes, of course. We are here because of certain horses. So we would not be without a horse.
Tell us what you want to see unfold in Zimbabwe.
What we need to see unfold in Zimbabwe is when I leave South Africa, I need to be able to swipe my card at an ATM and get money. I need to be able to enjoy with my family the little that I would have brought with. But if I do not have that 9 months after there has been a talk of a new dispensation, then I do not have anything except for new desperation.
Okay, Tino Mambeu is with the Zimbabwe Exile Forum, and as we stated earlier, he's staying with us for the duration of the show. Let's take a break now. We'll be back in a moment.